Insecurity is a major challenge in Nigeria today, as most parts of the country is facing one form of attack or the other, leading to several deaths and many more still made homeless as a result of armed bandit attacks, insurgency, kidnapping, and, in particular, the farmers' headish clash. The victims of these attacks are currently living in IDP camps without the vaguest idea when is such a time they will return home. Recall that a few weeks ago, the right to own sophisticated arms to defend themselves. Governor Samuel Ortom is one of the few Nigerian governors who has consistently championed the cause to resist and defend territories and farmlands being taken over by armed headsmen, bandits or insurgents in the state under his watch. He is again calling on the federal government that we must wake up before headsmen attacks consumes us all. This will be our focus today on the Patriot on television Nigerian. Welcome to the Patriot, a platform where we discuss critical issues of national importance, answering the question of how much of our country we love. This is going to be an audience participatory program. Please, you can call on the number showing on the screen. We will introduce a guest just right after this break. I am Peggy Shandy.
I pledge to Nigeria, my country. So goes the opening lines of the 6-line National Pledge of Nigeria. Today, not a few, whether young or old, merely recite the National Pledge as a matter of routine or tradition, with their hearts being poles apart from the very spirit, creed, and essence of the pledge. Many simply do not understand its purport or feel the import of it, while many others choose to observe the pledge in breach only. Today we have decided to walk on the footpath of the very words of the National Pledge, keeping its vision and essence in our hearts, in our souls, and in our minds.
I pledge to Nigeria, my country,
to be faithful,
loyal, and honest,
to serve Nigeria with all my strength,
to defend her unity,
and uphold her honor and glory.
So help me God. Nigeria, no doubt, will truly be the giant of Africa, developed and well rated in all indices, if her national pledge is treated with sacred obedience. It's on us, it's our duty and responsibility to make this country a better place. Let's live the pledge.
Welcome back, and this is the Patriot on television Nigerian. Please don't forget to call the numbers on the screen. Today we have an august guest in the studios of television Nigerian, a top-level security consultant who knows much about guns, beg your pardon, and who will be providing us with more insight and proper perspectives for media dimensions on the subject. CSP James, welcome to the Patriot.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
I got choking. I had to choke just because I couldn't call your name again.
Thank you.
I welcome you to the Patriot on television Nigerian today.
Yeah,
Let's get talking, please.
Yeah.
In what perspectives do you think that the governor of Benue State presented that request?
Well, the governor was obviously looking at the challenges that he faced in the state, given to the increasing wave of insecurity he was having when he first came in the second term. And to him, having guns is a solution to what he feels will be able to solve the problems that he's having, and some other state governors also.
Yes.
So the perspective was coming from was, if I may infer into his mind or reasoning, would have been a reasonable man's theory of saying that responsible citizens should own guns.
Yes.
Now, that was essentially based on his antecedents, that he wants control of the territories under each of the governors, and then that people who carry arms, you also have someone that can match them. If you have a gun and people know you have a gun, the approach to you is always quite different than when they know you don't have a gun at all. So it's in the private hands of people. And then when you look at the rate of violence in the country, you will now discover that there's no way security agencies can contend this when you look at the ratio of arms in civilian hands, over 6 million, to the ratio of those in uniform. If you put a combined total of immigration, the army, the police, the air force, the navy together, and the civil defense, you will discover that they're still under 3 million. So when you have civilians only having over 6 million weapons in their hands, that accounts for the level of insecurity you're having today and the challenge security agencies are going through. So for you to mop up these weapons down and start talking about legalizing them and licensing them, it's going to be difficult. Mind the police used to issue license to those who are holding most of these arms. But if you look at the total number of licensed arms that are issued by the police to civilians, to the rate of what you have over 6 million, you discover that the licensed arms are still less than 1 million in the hands of the private citizens. Now, and most of these arms that are in the hands of the private citizens are small weapons, small arms to the sophisticated ones, which are not licensed. Not everybody should hold these kind of guns. And that is why we're having a lot of insecurity in the country. Now, when you also look at the challenges that we're having today, from the point of view of you're trying to talk about legislation, you will now come to argue who is supposed to be defined as a responsible Nigerian to hold a gun. As far as I am concerned, you hardly can have a responsible Nigerian today that can be responsible behind a weapon. You need someone that will know that the two things that are afraid of to be used in Nigeria today is gun and a gun. God and a gun. Now, God is 3 letters, gun is 3 letters. These are very dangerous things that you cannot just toy with. So when you point a gun at someone's face, whether the muzzle, whether the chamber is empty or not, you discover that there's a total submission of whoever you point the gun at. So it is not an issue of just saying we should give arms to everybody that is tagged responsible.
No, the guns are looking very fearful, actually.
Yes, yes. So
I was driving behind a truck.
So
filled with, no, I just want to come back to you.
Yeah.
Just let's, so that it's interactive. Now, I was driving behind a vehicle of police, armed men, with guns, with a red something on top of it, directly behind, and I was not supposed to overtake them.
Yes.
I'm telling you the truth, I had to pack and pass out. No, I had to pack because the guns were looking at me.
Yeah.
And the sight alone, I had to pack and, pee to urinate before I came back to allow them go before I came.
Wow.
It's not an easy thing to see a sight of a gun.
It's not.
Now everybody's going to have them.
Well, not everybody, every responsible person.
I want you to tell me something again about the responsibility of the gun. It is not just about the responsibility of, it's the responsibility of the man behind the gun.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more on that?
Yeah, for you to hold a gun, it is assumed you are very responsible behind it, because when you are not responsible, you can play with a rifle and it can even kill you. It can injure you, can injure others or kill others because you are playing with it. Now, that has to do with a lot of your mental state and then your capacity and then your training. Now, where you are not trained to hold a gun properly, you discover that even when the chamber is locked, or unfortunately you might have placed your safety catch, you discover that in the course of usage...
There's something called a safety catch?
Yes. A safety catch is what you apply. It's an inbuilt device on the rifle to protect it from just going over a simple touch. You're only allowed to be free when you really want to go into an operation. So you can cock your rifle, but apply a safety catch. You may not fire until you remove it on safety catch. And then you fire. And then that's when you can fire. Now, these are all the things that you're supposed to take. And then sometimes if you don't load your magazine very well and you want to fire, the gun goes stuck in the chambers. It can't go out. Now, you as someone who is responsible behind the rifle, you should know that you can dismantle a rifle and then get it free and then remove the bullet that is hanging inside the chambers, and then you cock it and check it, and then you allow the gun to go back to its normal state. Now, when you release rifles to people in Nigeria, today you have a lot of people who have children that are taken to drugs. And when you keep a rifle carelessly in your house because you don't have an armory, you now discover that your son or your daughter may take the gun away from you, and then because it's to a cultist, you have a lot of cultism today, they may take these rifles and go out to do most of the operations that may also implicate you, because if you keep your gun and someone uses it to commit a crime, you are part and parcel of that crime also, because you are supposed to keep a gun in a very secure and protective place. And in most cases, as a private citizen, you are not supposed to allow your members of your family even know that you have a gun around you, except when it comes from the period you want to use it and where it is necessary. Now, if you look at a rifle by definition, you now discover that some rifles can take up to 60 rounds of ammunition, others can take up to 30, others can take 20. Now, if one man can have a rifle, it is possible by Nigerian standard to also go and acquire extra ammunition. And you don't have range that are private ranges in the country for you to start practicing how to go and use a gun, how to maneuver a gun, how to service a gun, how to shoot in the night. Or how
it has to be done in a very free space.
Yes, you need a secured and free place for you to practice gun shooting, because before you go in for a range, you're supposed to warn people who are around within the vicinity. Like AK-47 has a long killing range, so it's not something you can just go to the hills and start firing.
You can kill somebody.
You can kill someone from a distance of 2-3 kilometers. And you may be here assuming that the gun is not going that far. So it is not something that you can just allow guns to go into the hands of the so-called responsible people. His core is predicted on the challenges that he has. If you look at the country today, there's nowhere that is safe. When you're on the road today, you are afraid of what you could meet. When you're in your house, you're also afraid of who could come there to knock on your door. When you are in a car, you're afraid of those that are inside the car with you. So it is true that there's need for people to start knowing how to protect
All right,
themselves.
let's go to the next question, very important, because that will take us very fast because we don't have all the time. The proliferation of small arms being a major concern, just like you've just mentioned. It looks like you understood, you're talking based on as if you understand my questions.
Well,
It's making it very easy to work with you even here.
Thank you.
Proliferation of small arms being a major security concern for this administration. How do you think the position of the government fits into this conversation?
Well, the position of government does not fit into this, because government is always shouting that they want to mop up the small arms in the hands of civilians. And there are committees that were set up, and I think there's even a law that is going to be made to establish a commission that can mop up the small arms in the hands of civilians. Now, the question is, why is it difficult for government to mop up these arms through the security agencies? The answer is very simple. An indictment cannot be overruled on the part of security agencies for not doing what they are supposed to do. Because a lot of people have been arrested with a lot of small arms, a lot of security weapons.
Yes.
Now, it is only the question of detailed investigation for you to understand who gives you what.
Yes.
Because it is just like investigating money. When you get one arm today, follow the trend. Now, where did you get this arm from? If the arm doesn't have a number that's relative to security agency, it therefore means this arm came from somewhere. Now, trace the source of these arms from the person you have arrested. It tells you that, okay, I was given by ABC. Now, you arrest ABCD. Where did you get this arm that you supplied to the suspect that is arrested? It tells you who supplied it. And that is the way you can follow the trail and know exactly who is doing gun running in Nigeria. By the time you have the major kingpins of gun running eliminated through legal processes, don't misquote me, through legal processes, you eliminate them from having access to distribute these weapons again. It means you are taking out the supply chain of the guns. And once the supply chain is cut, consumption of the weapons is going to be less. So you gradually start seeing that less and less people are going to be having access to guns, because security agencies are going to now start mopping up. And once you arrest the gun runners, you also look at their register. Who are you supplying? Where have we been supplying? Because in every state you go, there must be a local champion.
What about those gun runners? Actually, are they licensed in the first place? Investigating them, have you found out whether they were licensed or not? We're talking about licensing sophisticated weapons here,
yes.
So that everybody will have it. Now, it is already known that people have gun running, and proliferation all over places. So where is the place of asking everybody to have guns and sophisticated that the governor of Benue State is calling the federal government to give license to? How do you level up?
Well, you have a lot of people that are licensed to bring in weapons for security agencies in Nigeria, a lot of them. And then you have major ones also. Now, it is difficult for someone who is licensed to bring in illegal weapons and start sharing. But when you look at the seaport, most of these weapons are not manufactured there. And most weapons that you have around the country today are always new ones, which means they are brought into the seaport or by the air or to the land borders. Now, it is only when you are able to now start taking control of most of these borders that you can have a cause to say you are trying to reduce a lot of this gun running. Now, you can also arrest one kingpin. He leads you to his own, because this is like a cartel. Now, once you get one, he should be able to take you to the next person. And if he doesn't do, you do forensic investigation on his cell phone or his laptop. You will not discover that you can tumble on a lot of conversations he's having with others, because
then you'll be able to check the rest of them.
That is the way you can do the networking.
All right, okay, we're going to take a short break now, please. We're going to take a very short break, and we'll listen to the governor speak about his intention, and then we can just continue again. We just have less than 20 minutes to go. All right. We are going to take a very short break, and when we return, CSP James Van Ifan, who is a trained security personnel who knows a lot about guns, will shoot hard.
It is not a new thing. I'm not calling for a new policy of government. I'm just asking for an upgrade of the existing policy on gun licenses in our country, Nigeria, because of the level of sophistication of criminal activities and banditry activities and terrorism that is going on. Before now, or right now, the policy on ground on firearm is at the local government level. The local government is entitled to issue firearm limited to den guns. At the state level, and of course at the national level, I think the policy is that double-barrel gun, pump action, licenses can be given to people at this level. But you agree with me that there is no way AK-47 can compete with den gun or double-barrel or even pump action. So at least if the criminals know, the bandits, the terrorists know that where they are visiting to attack, to kill, to destroy property, and steal, that people around there too may have sophisticated weapons like they have, then they will caution themselves. But where they walk into people, and we are seeing that everywhere, kidnappers, armed robbers, none of them carries den gun or double-barrel gun or pump action. They carry sophisticated weapons like AK-47 or AK-49 or AK-70. I don't know how many number to ascribe to it, but they carry sophisticated weapons. And we cannot just fold our arms. So for me, that call was from my heart, and is my own way of genuinely calling on government to see if they can issue licenses. Those who feel that, it will bring anarchy, I say that already we have existing policy on ground. So it's just an upgrade based on the sophistication. In the 60s and in the 70s, we never had people carrying AK-47 and AK-49 and killing people in the manner that is happening today. So for me, I am saying that as governor of Benue State. I have not spoken to my colleagues, and I did not discuss with anyone. But I think, right to the presidency, who have the authority to see the process of legislation or policy that can allow people to carry this gun. And it's in the best interest of everyone, because insecurity is a major problem in Nigeria today. It is not hunger. Nobody is talking about the economy again. Where you're not safe, how can you do investment? How can you go and borrow money from the bank and invest where you know that your investment is not safe? And tomorrow you're killed. That investment is destroyed. So we must, as Nigerians, find ways.
Your boss, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Benue State, has recently electrified and ignited the country with another statement. I wanted to just tell us a little bit about that statement, the philosophy behind it, and tell Nigerians what exactly, as the Chief Press Secretary to him, that you are.
He has already explained what he means by the federal government licensing responsible Nigerians, and he underlined the word responsible, because if you say every person should own firearms, then the society will be in chaos. So he was specific, the governor of Benue State was specific that people who will be allowed to own firearms will be people who have proven integrity, people who have a track record of integrity, and such people will be permitted lawfully to own weapons which are sophisticated. Because what is at the moment is that people are allowed to, some individuals are allowed to own light weapons, and that has given criminals the courage to approach any person. The argument that if you allow certain people to own arms, then Nigeria will be littered with weapons does not hold, because the governor did not make a sweeping statement. He was specific on the category of Nigerians who should be allowed to own weapons, because criminals know the people they target. They have targets, and when they approach those people, they don't just go to the market and begin to kidnap just anybody. They have targets. They target people who, if they kidnap, they will get ransom. So for such people, yes, security is for all of us.
This is the Chief Press Secretary to the Benue State Governor, His Excellency Dr. Samuel Ortom, providing perspectives for media dimensions on security matters and other issues taking Nigeria to the next level. Peggy Shande, TVN News, Abuja. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us again. This is the Patriot and Television Nigerian. And please don't forget, this is a call-in program. You can, the lines are open, you can call now so we can finish up the program. We have CSP James Vanifan, a trained security expert and a security consultant. He is here to answer all the questions, please. CSP James.
Yes, first.
Right. Did you hear the governor?
Yes, I did.
Do we have AK-49?
No, we don't have AK-49. I think he was just talking about the calibration of the anticipated weapons that may come in the next generation.
Next generation, yeah. Exactly. For now, we have AK-47. 47, thank you. Now, the governor's statement has received quite a lot of reactions, all right?
Yeah.
And Nigeria, some of them are saying negative, some of them are saying positive. But in the whole, today again, he made another statement in the Guardian newspaper. He said, "We must wake up before headsman's attack consumes us all." What do you think the federal government is going to do in responding to this call?
Well, the federal government should make sure that those who are the vanguard of headsmen are checked, and those who make unnecessary statements and give them protection should be prosecuted. Because statements by certain organizations that are warehousing the headsmen are uncalled for, and the heat of the politics. Yes. And until the law is applied on everybody, that is the only time you can have peace in this country. But where the law is used in such a way that it selects those that it can be applied to, it's not going to help, and that gives the headsmen kind of strength to continue doing what they do, because as far as I'm concerned, none of that has been put on trial for going into a village to kill. It is until these things are done, and then their leadership also should be cautious of the kind of statements they make. Yes. Some governors too fuel most of these statements, because I know one governor was saying that Nigeria belongs to the Fulanis, and they are free to come all over the world and settle here. Yes. You have Fulanis all over the world, yes. You have Yorubas all over the world. You have a lot of tribes that are spread all over the world. Yes. But you cannot just make a call that people should just start coming to settle here. One day you will discover that the whole black race in the world will come back to Africa. That, okay, Africa is our continent, but it doesn't follow. Yes, you can allow people to come into your country, because no country develops without visitors. Yes. But at least those who are coming should be checked to make sure that they follow the rules and the laws of the land.
Thank you very much. So, do you think, in a general, the call of the governor is completely something that should not be given attention to? No. Listen to the point.
Yes.
Because if you can see, it is also not right for a people to continue to be insecure.
Yeah.
You know, he started, just like you started by beginning here, that he got the citizens active by engaging a voluntary surrender of arms, in their possession, in the thing he called amnesty. And today, I think he is going to feel that the insecurity of his own people is affecting even the farmlands and the security. You heard him say.
Yeah.
So, can you respond to this, and let's have our final words on this?
Well, it's a pity that the governor is still consistently under threat of the herdsmen, banditry, and kidnappers.
Yes.
And he did a good thing by mopping up arms in the state from criminals. That to an extent has made the state to be safe on some roads.
Yes.
And travel on most of the major roads in Benue, and you will not be harassed so much again.
Yes.
Now, but to an extent, his call is not a bad one. If what I expect that he should do further is to also allow the representatives from Benue in the National Assembly to also come with this as a bill seeking the amendment of the Firearms Act in the country, so that these suggestions can be argued on the floor of the National Assembly, and we'll see whether it can see the light of the day. If you ask a lot of people, they will tell you, yes, we want arms. In the south, they will tell you they need arms. In the north, they will tell you they don't need arms. Yeah. So it's a call that is so responsible, but it should be sent to the National Assembly for them to argue on it and see whether it can be amended and passed as a law. If it is done, I think because of their arguments, people can come as in the public hearing and present their opinions and see whether or not it's going to be something that can be beneficial to the nation. For me, I feel it shouldn't just be thrown away. If it cannot be done, for you to be secure, it's better to allow all the
we have a caller. We have a caller. Yeah. We have a caller. Hello. Hello. Please tell us. Oh, we just lost that caller. All right. Sorry, you can go ahead.
Yes. Even if you cannot give arms now to all the people, I think it's better to issue arms to those who are retired personnel that are still active and strong in various communities, to make sure that they secure communities along the lines of operational guides of holding a gun. If that is done, I think it will go to a large extent of supporting government's stand against most of these challenges we're having today.
Now, finally, can you just before we get the caller, if we still have callers coming in, we have just 5 minutes to round up this program. All right, so do you think that the lamentation of the governor is just a lamentation in futility? Or you think he has... No, I want you to say something. For someone to just say, everybody just have guns. I don't like the sight of a gun. I tell the truth. You said the truth.
So many people don't like it.
I don't want to see a gun.
People don't like
and that's why I don't make sure that I fall into the... And I don't want to fall in the hands of thieves. But you are a trained man and you know how to shoot a gun. Can you still shoot?
Why not? Very well. Very, very well. I'm very good at shooting. Now, the statement of the governor is not in vain. He's calling from a responsible position of someone that has access to intelligence beyond what we know. And someone that has a lot of advisors. I think every governor has up to 100 advisors. And it depends on...
Okay, we have a caller, please. We're going to take this call now. Please. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Please, can you tell us your name and where you're calling from, please?
All right, my name is Mercy Demudia. I'm calling from Ghana.
Calling from Ghana. Mercy, thank you.
Good afternoon. So I'm listening to your program.
Yes.
And I'm getting to understand more about what your guests and you are talking about. You're talking about handling of guns.
Yeah.
And my first question is, normally in a society, what are the criteria to tag a responsible citizens? Let alone saying responsible citizens should be allowed to handle guns in case of self-defense or what have you. I don't see it. I mean, now, how...
We can hear you. Go ahead. Mercy, can you hear me? Oh, the call. We just lost the call. But did you hear that responsibility?
Yes, I did. Yes. It's just like what I have said. responsibility has to lie in the head of someone that you are assessing. And you can't just see someone and call him a responsible person worthy to hold a gun. It should be the person who is responsible behind the gun. So when you are giving guns to politicians, days are coming they can use these guns and come out to fight their own enemies. If you look at what's happening in Edo State today, if you allow politicians to hold this kind of guns, a lot of things will happen. But if you allow those who are trained and they go through a lot of measures, there should be a lot of parameters to put in place to be sure that someone you are giving a gun to should be someone who can hold it.
Yes, let's take this caller. Let's take this caller. Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you very loud and clear in the studios of Television Nigerian Live.
Okay, because it seems the network is really very bad here.
Calling all the way from Ghana is not a joke.
Yes,
We're talking about guns here.
So, like I was saying, I said, first of all, first question to your guest is, how can you categorize a responsible
Categorize
citizen in Nigeria?
responsible, yes.
Yes, you understand. Because, I mean, I can be a responsible citizen, but what if I do not know how to handle a gun?
Yes.
What if I shoot someone by mistake? I don't think this gun, I mean, there was a reason why the gun is accessible to just some persons and not to other persons.
Yes.
So that's the first realization. So in my own view, the gun should be held by who it should be held and not by who you
Thank you. We have gotten your question. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
God bless you. So we'll listen to the answers now.
Yes, Messi, thank you for calling in. It is difficult to define who a responsible person is when it comes to the issue of holding a gun. It's only those who are trained that you can call them responsible. Even those who are trained, at times you discover that psychological emotions can make them overreact when they hold a gun, because a gun is like a stimulant. When you hold it, you feel you are above the law, you are unchallenged. And when people talk to you when you have a gun, you discover your emotions can go high. But once you are trained, you can be able to caution yourself that you are not supposed to use a gun anyhow. So having someone responsible to carry a gun is different from having a responsible person to be issued a gun to. Thank you.
Because someone who is not responsible can just shoot anybody.
Yes.
All right. We have another caller coming in. Oh, we just lost that one. Oh. Thank you very much. Your calls are coming. We just have to leave here in the next 3 minutes. Please, if you're calling, let's just finish up now so we can wrap up this program. Wow. Mr. CSP James, thank you very much. So you know so much about guns.
Yes, I do.
Your final words, if you have any other thing you want to say.
Yes, my final words are that it is not too heavy to give everybody a gun unless there's legislation on that, which can set out definitions of who should carry a gun and who should not carry a gun, and the limit and when you can apply your gun that you are holding. So my advice to the federal government is that if there must be this law in place, let it go through the public hearing so that people can come, argue, and see whether it is something worth trying or not. It's not bad holding a gun, but it's also dangerous holding a gun.
Yes, let's pick this call. Let's pick this call. Hello, yes. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, please.
A very brief question.
Yes.
Your guest, since he's a security expert, and who invented bomb? Because it's one thing that personally I don't.
Who invented a gun? Thank you very much. Let's pick this other call. And this will be the last caller for the day. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from. You are live on Television Nigerian.
Okay, that's good to know. My name is Onye Julius.
Onye Julius, okay. You're calling from where?
We are calling from Lagos State.
From Lagos?
Exactly.
Your question, please.
Okay, so, well, I've been following the program, the issue of the governor of Benue State, asking that people, responsible citizens, should carry arms about. My question is it even right that the governor should make that kind of statement in public? I mean, I feel like the statement should have been screened, before coming out to say that, considering the volatility of our nation and the issues that we've been experiencing.
Thank you very much.
So my question is, shouldn't you have been more guided before making such a statement? Is it even good to come out to make such a statement in public, considering, how fragile our nation has been and the insecurity and all that? Thank you very much.
Where are you calling from?
Lagos.
I'm calling from Lagos.
Thank you very much. This is Television Nigerian. We have an expert who will answer you now.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, somebody asked a question, who created the guns, and what is that statement? Is it correct that the governor should make that kind of statement?
Guns have various history, and they came as a result first of slave trade. That was when people started using weapons to see how they can get human beings who can take them to Europe and do all the things they would do. And then people on high sea who were pirates that started robbing on high sea started also the use of guns. So guns evolve over time. It's not something that just started. It's just like money. You hardly can find out who first created a gun in the world. It doesn't have a historical beginning like that.
But there's a gun.
In the modern world, you know that AK-47 was done by a Russian. And so many other weapons today, you can attach them to the Navy and then some other labs in the whole world that can manufacture guns. Now, back to the question of the lady from Lagos.
Yes.
Well, I am not holding forth for the governor, but if you look at the press statement he made to clarify the statement, he was saying that he's making the statement on his own as a governor of the state, that he was entitled to his own personal opinions.
Yes.
So I can't know the reason why he shouldn't speak out as a governor also. He is saying that he has these challenges in the state, and to him, if he maybe has applied a lot of things and these things are not working.
Thank you.
And that is why he was calling on government that if you should go back and look at this law and see whether you can tinker with it. So he's not saying we should go and carry guns, but he's saying federal government should license responsible Nigerians who can also carry guns.
And his explanation
was that if they know, if a criminal knows that you have a gun around you, he may have a difficulty in approaching you easily the way they used to encroach on some others and kill. So nothing is wrong in making your suggestions. And nothing, he's not saying go and carry guns, but he's saying there should be a law that can allow people who are responsible to carry guns. My own idea is that how responsible are people that are going to give the guns to, because we don't have enough facilities to train civilians who can handle guns here.
Thank you very much. All right, so because he has also mentioned that there has been laws, but they need to be upgraded. That's right. And so it is also not a right that anybody can just come and kill a governor who is superintending over a people whose lives and property are in his hands. Thank you very much, CSP. It's been wonderful talking with you. All right. We have been talking to CSP James Van de Van, a trained security personnel who has headed several sectors in the police force, elucidating on the governor's stance for citizens' right to own sophisticated guns for self-defense. You can like our page and follow us on all our social media handles. You can also sponsor programs on the Patriot, on Television Nigerian. Please drop a comment. Let's have your opinion. This is where we end the program on this episode of the Patriot on Television Nigerian. Until next time, be patriotic. I am Peggy Shelley, and many thanks for watching.